Today we're looking at 10 depreciated exotic cars you can buy from 20k to 200k at 20k intervals. Let's get straight into it. The 992 Porsche 911 GT3 RS has probably had a bigger impact on the world of cars than any previous GT3 RS generation. It's probably one of the most desirable cars on the market, placing it in a different league to the rest of the 911 lineup. Since the McLaren Senna's introduction with its super performance focused design, cars no longer have to be built to look good, they can be built to perform ludicrously well on track regardless of the aesthetics. The 992 GT3 RS embodies this, the perfect 911 for driving performance. It comes with a 4-litre flat 6, putting out 517 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 3.1 seconds, and it managed to set a Nürburgring time of 6 minutes 44 seconds, which is unbelievable for a road car. That engine combines with some serious aero and downforce features that generate 860 kilograms of downforce, double the previous generation. The rear wing also has a DRS style portion like an F1 car, and almost everything about the car's dynamics can be modified to get it handling perfectly for the track, driver and conditions. A 2023 model with 13k on the clock starts at our 200k limit now as well. Crazy to see how much they've dropped in the last few years. As we cut the budget by 20k, we have the Lamborghini Aventador LP 700-4, the successor to the Murcielago as the brand's flagship car, and a car that absolutely will go down in history as a poster car for many. For me, the Aventador might be the perfect supercar for the money. Dramatic looks, dramatic sounds, and some seriously mental features to get it performing as a supercar should, including a carbon fiber monocoque, a 7-speed single-clutch automated manual transmission, and an utterly obscene powertrain, a 6.5-litre V12 engine, which puts out 690 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 2.8 seconds. It's actually become the second highest production Lambo of all time, which has helped prices to sit in a relatively low spot for the flagship car, given the start at around 150k, with 180k getting a 2014 model with 10k on the clock. A lot of money, but compare that to a Diablo, Countach, and even the Murcielago, and it's pretty good value. They can be a little expensive to live with though, of course, with the clutches and gearboxes typically being the key source of trouble. They're definitely more reliable than old Lamborghinis, given Audi are involved, but it's an expensive car with expensive parts. If I had the money, I would not buy a brand new front engine V12 Ferrari, not because they're not stunning, but because they are known to depreciate heavily, and the F12 Berlinetta absolutely fits that bill. It was around 340 grand brand new adjusted for inflation in 2012, but today they start at around 135k, with 160k getting a 2015 model that's done around 20,000 miles. That means original owners have lost around 200k in 13 years. But that doesn't mean the F12 isn't an unreal car. It's beautiful, having been designed by Pininfarina, and came as the successor to the 599 as the flagship Grand Tourer, which I also think is a great value for money Ferrari, but the F12 somehow looks that little bit more fluid and maybe even timeless. It comes with a 6.3-litre V12 engine that makes 729 brake horsepower, the most on this list, taking it to 60 in 3 seconds. Interestingly, the 599XX, the most aggressive track-focused version of the 599, informed the aero for the F12 alongside Ferrari's Formula 1 program. That aero was designed to reduce drag, increase downforce, and direct air into cooling ducts to keep crucial parts cold, important on an expensive Ferrari that comes with expensive Ferrari maintenance. We're down to our 140k budget now, and one of the best value for money, best looking modern supercars you can buy, the Maserati MC20. This car actually provided the base for the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, a car that comes in at around the £2 million mark, yet the MC20 can now be had for around £124,000 at the bottom end, with 140k getting a 2021 example that's only done around 5,000 miles. That's crazy when you think these started at over 230k brand new. Even better, the car was originally based on Alfa Romeo 4C test mules, so you could go even cheaper and nab yourself a 4C for sub 40k. The MC20 comes with a 3-litre twin turbocharged V6 that makes 621 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 2.8 seconds, which is unbelievably quick for a rear-wheel drive car. It's the spiritual successor to the MC12, which was in and of itself a rebody of the Enzo Ferrari, and it comes as both a coupe and convertible, both of which do have some design similarities to that old MC12, particularly visible around the rear with that lovely muscular shelf. One problem though, owners and journalists have suggested, is that the car is heavier and less performant than it was advertised. Now we're down to sub 120k and another true supercar, the McLaren 720S, which is another great value for money supercar. You're getting the aggression and drama of an Aventador, but in a car that starts around £115,000, with 120k getting you a 2017 model that's done around 17,000 miles. It was designed by the the famous Frank Stevenson alongside Rob Melville, and when I say drama, I mean it. The customary McLaren dihedral doors, the rotating dashboard with race mode, the active rear wing for drag reduction, additional downforce and braking stability, this thing is a proper supercar and in my opinion will probably be as much of a head turner as the Aventador we mentioned earlier. It comes with a 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 that puts out 709 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 2.8 seconds, matching the Aventador and MC20. Like the Aventador, it also has a carbon fibre tub akin to the one that's on the P1, and the interior too is race focused, much more like the P1 than the slightly more luxury focused Lambo. Sadly, the electrics can cause problems in them, and many owners have complained at length about the expensive and difficult maintenance experience they've had at McLaren. If you're enjoying this video, I'm doing my best to get to 150,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed and want to get involved, please consider doing so. As there are quite a few dream cars on this list, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these 10 cars would you have? The most recent generation Audi R8 got a midlife facelift in 2018, which gave life to the R8 V10 Performance, a properly aggressive and angular looking example of the R8, while retaining the daliable supercar tradition that the R8 has become known for. For this facelift, the base car was renamed V10 Quattro, and the V10 Plus was renamed to V10 Performance, and the car also got larger carbon ceramic brakes, a revised steering rack for sharper responsiveness, and an optional carbon fibre roll bar that drops weight by a further 2 kg. It really is all about performance. Add on the improved front aero from the new winglets and the increased cooling enabled by the larger grills, and you can see even more of that performance focus. They still got the pre-facelift interior though, and the same 5.2 litre V10 engine that makes 611 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 3 seconds, though you might want to change the exhaust as the car's sound has been stifled a bit by regs. £88,000 will get you into one of these, and 100k is enough for a 2019 example that's done around 5,000 miles, a drop from around 130k brand new. They're also known to be very reliable, but another expensive car to service. For sub 80k we have our second Ferrari, the F430, the predecessor to the 458 and the car that followed on from the 360. It was the last of the main sports car lineage from Ferrari to come with a manual gearbox, and I was fortunate enough to drive a gated manual example on track a few years back. I would say the interiors feel a little bit cheaper than you'd expect from Ferrari, but you forget all of that with the lovely V8 sound and the balance that Ferraris have become so well known for. I will say however the gated manual does look amazing but can be tough to use if you want to drive fast. I'd still prefer to have it though, mated to the 4.3 litre V8 engine that makes 483 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 4 seconds. Frank Stevenson was also key for this car's design as he worked alongside Pininfarina to make it happen, and it comes as both a coupe and convertible. I personally would probably go for the coupe. 60k will get you into one, and 80k is enough for 2005 model with around 25,000 miles on it. Owners do suggest a budget of 2 to 5k annually for maintenance though, so do prepare for that. When the F430 was the Ferrari that everyone wanted, the leading competitor from Lamborghini was the Gallardo, the second car to be released under Audi's involvement and the first Lambo to come with a factory V10 engine, a 5-litre V10 to be exact, producing 493 brake horsepower, taking him to 60 in 3.9 seconds. It sold over 14,000 examples across all its versions before being replaced by the Huracan, making it the most sold Lamborghini ever, which is why they've been so relatively cheap when compared with other Lamborghinis, as they now start at around £53,000, with 60k getting you a 2006 model that's done 40,000 miles. It's therefore the cheapest Lambo on the market, and in terms of its ability to turn heads, I think it has to be considered amongst the best value for money cars. Add on the fact that they really aren't going anywhere in value, and you have a car that will likely cost you however much it is to maintain and service, as you'll likely get near to your money back if and when you sell it. Engine failures are uncommon, but the gearboxes and clutches can be problematic. Owners seem to suggest around 3k per year put aside for maintenance as the main expectation if nothing major goes wrong. My good friends at Motorland gave me the chance to drive around in the BMW i8, our 40k car for this video, and I quickly realised it's currently the perfect car for me. Incredibly cheap to run from a fuel economy perspective, supercar looks, and Grand Tourer handling dynamics. It was designed with the classic M1 in mind with the wedge stylings, but the powertrain is unique, with its 1.5 litre turbocharged inline-3 combined with an electric motor to produce 356 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 4.3 seconds. It's a head turner, but they aren't as rare as you might think, given they were the most successful car in their class in terms of sales by a very long way, with more than 2,000 of them on the roads in the UK right now. I think the looks give them major future classic potential, and the interiors are a lovely, comfortable place to be as well. 24k will get you into one, and 40k is enough for 2018 model with 35,000 miles on it. Overheating issues have been known, as well as some battery issues, but they actually appear to be quite reliable. For 20k we have the Mercedes SL63 AMG, and while I think there are more exotic looking cars in this range like the F-Type, DB9 and Vantage, I think the SL63 doesn't get enough love. It's a hardtop convertible Grand Tourer that wouldn't look out of place cruising along the Amalfi coast, and having driven one on track, I do think the Amalfi or French Riviera is where they should stay. They can get thrashed around a track, but I think they prefer to cruise along in luxury instead. They of course also carry an incredibly famous badge, with past SLs all to varying degrees being considered to some level of classic status, and I feel like these will do the same one day as they're so rare. They got a quite reliable 6.2 litre V8 block that makes 517 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and with a lovely soundtrack too. They do feel heavy to drive fast, which is reassuring when cruising, less so when attacking at the track, but the interiors are a nice place to be if a little dated at this point. They start at around our 20k limit though, which will get you a 2018 example that's done around 80,000 miles. If you enjoyed this video, do hit like and click on screen to see my review of that i8. Thanks for watching, and to the patrons for their support. I'll see you in the next one.